Hey everybody, welcome to Downballot Roundup in partnership with Leave No Dem Behind, where I introduce you to Democrats running in local elections throughout the country. I'm Bryan Randolph, and today I'm here with Mark Casler, who is running for the North Dakota State House in the 23rd District. And Mark, it is very wonderful to have you here. How are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you for having me. And it's been great for people like you and, all over the TikTok and, digital verse to get interested in a really, really local race. So,
Hey, every race is local and all politics are local, so this is fantastic. Why don't you start by telling me a little bit about you?
okay. Well, again, my name is Mark Casler, and I'm running for the House in District 23 here in North Dakota. A little bit about me is that I grew up in the area. So, District 23, for people who don't know, is northwest North Dakota. So, almost to Montana. So, I live about 7 miles from Montana, actually. So, but like I said, I was raised here, went to Trenton High School. That's where I live near. Um, in 2003, I also have went to Williston State College here in Williston. Graduated from there and got an associate's, and then I went to North Dakota State in Fargo with a degree in political science, bachelor's in science, political science. So after I had graduated, I didn't know what to do and decided to move back. Especially since that's when our first boom in like 2008, 2009, when it was the real crazy. You'd hear stories about Williston. A lot of them were true. So, but like I said, I've stayed because first off, I love the area. I grew up here and I really like it. And I also like the money. You know what I mean? I'm going to be honest. I mean, the pays are good, and some of our cost of living can be a little high, but you know, that's why I decided to stay. So, he said, just guy working out here, and I've worked numerous jobs and oil field jobs, but like I said, I understand what everybody goes through because that's what I do every day. So
And tell me, so it's in Northwest North Dakota. Can you tell me a little bit about the people that live there and what your area is like?
okay, so like I'll just give you a little background. District 23 was in the last census was created because Williston got a huge population boom. We probably doubled, almost tripled in size in about the last 20 years. So we got another legislative district. The legislative district is like the north part of Williston, and then when you got farther west of town, it's everything south of Highway 2. So Trenton, where I live, is south Highway 2 and south to Montana. So it's a pretty decent mix of like not urban, but city living, and then you got your country living, like out where I live. So, but it's become an area where people have been moving to, especially with, you know, back in like 2008, 2009 when the first boom, the recession was real bad all over the country, so people moved up here, and a lot of those people stayed because they like the area. We have pretty good schools, and like I said, and they built a community. So, and this is not the first boom we've had in this area. Back in the 80s, it happened the same thing. Um, so it's just really good to see, all kinds of, and like I said, become an incredibly diverse place, especially since that I've started running for the North Dakota House, getting out and talking to people, and just not only, for me campaigning, but just seeing it every day, like I said, when I was doing some campaigning this summer at street dance they have here, but I was talking to family, they're from Samoans, but they were from South Central LA in Williston. You got people from Hawaii that had a really nice vendor, and they did pretty good food. So I mean, it's become an eclectic mix of people who come up here for money, but stay because of the people they have, the people around here. So
Excellent. My Samoan Ulu over here. I lived in Samoa for an American Samoa. So when you're out there talking to people, what are you hearing most as kind of the issues that are really driving people in that area,
and so,
in that district?
so it's kind of like two different areas. So like if you're in Williston, there's okay, so there's two school districts in our district, in District 23. Williston, the Williston School District, I think number 7. It's 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 been brought together with a couple other ones, but there's that one and then Trenton. So like when I talk to people in Williston, schools are a big thing, mainly because there's a lot of people moving up here and they have kids. So the schools are becoming crowded, and it's not a bad problem. It's a good problem that people are wanting to move here because the jobs, but they bring their families and stay here because they like it. It's something, with that is just like, hey, we need more schools, we need stuff like that. So, um, and a thing we had here is that we had a bond issue in April. And so they are going to build another elementary school and then renovate some of the other ones. But like I said, the thing is that North Dakota runs a surplus. We had a $288 million surplus. That $36 million for that school should have been done by the state, especially since we not bear the brunt, but a lot of the economic activity in the state comes from Western North Dakota. So that's where the state should be investing in, and our legislators didn't do that. So, but there's that, and then like when you get out to where I live near Trenton, it's a lot of the roads. They want to put in a refinery out here, and so people are really concerned about that. The state's put some money into it. The Williams County's putting some money into it, and somebody who's going to move out here, if you're going out here for jobs, that's fine. But like I said, is it worth spending like $31 million on something that might not come out here? So that's a concern. And then the highways too, especially our 1804 out by Trenton out there. There's a casino out here. And so it's become really dangerous. We've had a couple of really nasty accidents, and the state, make sure that the state is providing a safe highway for a lot of the commerce that happens in our area happens on roads, and they need to make sure that they're doing that. So,
I spoke to another North Dakota candidate, Sandra Doifel, and we talked about the kind of the that there seemed to be a growing excitement about Democratic candidates, but not a lot of organization. Have you felt that sort of swell and growth in your district and in your area?
I mean, yeah, I guess, like I said, I would say that I've had really positive interactions with all kinds of people. You know, I had one real Trump guy the other day, kind of give it to me a little bit, but I mean, but that's far and few between, not to say that Donald Trump isn't going to win North Dakota. He probably is, but I just feel that there's real momentum for Democrats in the state because, frankly, our last legislative session, because under North Dakota law they can only meet 80 days every 2 years, and it was horrible. It was absolutely awful. They just talked about book bans. They passed one of the most restrictive abortion bans that was struck down by the North Dakota courts, which will go to the North Dakota Supreme Court. But people are not happy about what they did. They just wasted their time. And frankly, they wasted their time on that, put all the spending bills in one big bill, which is illegal under the North Dakota Constitution, got sued for it, and almost shut the state down because they didn't do their job. And they had to have a special session to fix this. And a special session in North Dakota costs $65,000 a day. So for 4 days, they spent $250,000 to fix their mistake that they shouldn't have even done in the first place. So people in this state, not only here, and like I said, and I've heard that from other people. One of our canvassers talked to people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I vote Republican, but I'm really thinking about voting for Democrats because I'm sick and tired of, like I said, the nonsense they pulled last session. It makes us look incompetent, and frankly, the Republicans in the legislature were incompetent last session. So yeah, so I think there's an error for us to change. Like I said, people want something different. So yeah, so I think that's something that the people of North Dakota kind of want. I don't know if it's. I think, and also I'm a huge Democrat, so I always think we're going to win. But I just feel that there's some momentum, in the state, especially some stuff that we can build on. Look, let's just be real. If I win this legislative seat, I'm not going to be in the majority. I'm going to still be in a super minority. But I think this is how we build, build towards a little bit more balanced government. And I think the people want something like that.
All
So,
right.
but
Okay, so we're running short on time, but this is my favorite question. It's my softball question. I always ask this last. I would like you to tell me something about your district that makes it special to you.
for me, I just love living. I love living out here. Living outdoors. Especially the area I live. I mean, there's a lot of history, whether it's Fort Union National Historic Site or Fort Buford State Historic Site in the confluence, which the confluence of the Missouri and the Yellowstone rivers is absolutely gorgeous. It's phenomenal, and that kind of stuff. So, and like you said, and then frankly, the people, it's just great to see how the community of Williston, of Trenton, has grown in such a period of time that it's a great place to live and that people are wanting to move to. So just like I said, I just really can't talk enough about this area, but yeah, that's the things I really like about it. So.
Excellent. All right. Mark Casler is running the North Dakota House for District 23. Thank you so much for being here and best of luck. I really hope you take this.
All
It
right,
sounds
and
like
thank
North.
you. And I was gonna say thank you and thank you, and then thank you to everybody else who's been sharing stuff and liking stuff. And it's really it's really awesome to see that people are really getting enthused about this. And like I said, in a special election in rural North Dakota. So.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much.